the morning I get up, have breakfast, give my wife breakfast in bed, pack all the equipment into the van. I set off sometimes about 8 o'clock, 8:30. It depends on how far I'm going. We walk in the door, we set up with the piano, or we bring in our keyboard.
79-year-old Joe Hopkins begins most of his days like this, with a trip in his van to another performance. Joe is the founder of the musical troupe called the Monash Airs.
We are a voluntary group of musicians and singers, and we entertain in nursing homes, hospitals and daycare centres all over Melbourne and beyond. And we have done so for the last 15 years and 4 months. Usually they give you a cup of tea, and then all the residents come in, some in wheelchairs, some on stretchers, and we give them an hour to an hour and a half's entertainment. If any of the audience have a request for a song or a piece of music, we will try and oblige. Okay. Any questions?
Joe and the Monash Airs perform songs mainly from the 30s, 40s and 50s. The group has had almost 4,000 concerts to date, and today they'll be playing at the St Joseph's Hostel in Northcote, Melbourne. It's a vibrant home and the residents here are warming up in anticipation.
I trust you'll be all joining in and singing with us.
Well, I'm a little sister of the poor, and we're a religious congregation that cares specifically for the elderly. So our principal mission really is to make these people happy and give meaning to their lives in this last journey that they're facing. And it can be a very happy time. It should be a peace-filled time, looking back on life and coming to terms with the things in your life. And it's our job to help it to be a peaceful, happy time. Aged care facilities don't have to be miserable and sad. They should be very, very happy places.
Joe's own journey through life has been varied and interesting and at times pretty tough. He was fostered as a child and found his mother later in life, only just before she passed away. He served in the British Army, which took him around the world and almost cost him his life when he became gravely ill while in Sierra Leone. Perhaps these experiences have given him a determination to continue full-time volunteer work well into his 70s.
I think I've always been concerned for my fellow human beings overseas and in other parts of the world where I've been. I've been involved in Ireland. I was involved in St Vincent de Paul and the Legion of Mary, and overseas we got involved with helping out with the UN forces, nurses and so forth who were in Africa. And as I said, in England, in the army, we used to put on concerts. There's about 3 or 4 of us used to do it. But you've always got to have a little team. You can't do it on your own. The Monash Airs are delighted to be back with you once again. Thank you.
It was a personal experience that gave Joe the idea to start organising concerts for the elderly.
Some friends of ours, they put their grandmother into a nursing home, and it was coming up to her 90th birthday in 1994. And a couple of ladies from the local church and myself, we went round there to sing happy birthday to her. And because she was Irish and her name was Kitty O'Loughlin, lovely lady, we sang Danny Boy and a few of those songs. And we observed that people in the nursing home from the other rooms began to come into the main room. They switched the television off and they began to sing with us. And they joined in the songs like It's a Long Way to Tipperary, I Belong to Glasgow, The Road to Gundagai. And that's where the concept of the Monash Airs started. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Sometimes there are occasions when people start crying, and I used to get sad about it, but now I realise it's good to let their emotions flow. Because if you're singing songs or playing music that's touching their hearts, you've scored it. It's wonderful.
Joe was recently awarded with an Order of Australia medal, but he insists that without all the volunteer performers, the Monash Airs simply would not exist.
Well, I was quite surprised and quite shocked when I was notified at the end of last year that I had been nominated. I'm going to accept it for and on behalf of all the Monash Airs, the past members, the present members, and those who are no longer with us, because without them, I could have never done it. Wonderful, wonderful people.
Oh, Joe, he's a card. I'm amazed, actually, that he's able to keep this sort of group going in the way he does, because we do about 30 concerts a month on average, and he does every one of them.
He's a very generous person. and very devoted to what he's doing. He gives his whole self to the monasteries, and he doesn't really look for credit or to take credit for himself, but he wants to share it with us.
When you sing in front of an audience of people in nursing homes, you'll understand. Some of them are bedridden, some of them in wheelchairs, some of them are quite coherent and they get up and dance, and it's so lovely to see that.
And they say music speaks all languages. No matter what country they come from, to me they seem to come to life when there's music. You see, even in the nursing homes where, they appear to be sound asleep, you see, a foot moving or a hand moving to the time of the music.
It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there. There you go, beloved.
How do you feel about hearing all those lovely songs?
Oh, I reckon they're great.
Well, they give us a real kick. And also the people who you know, that they're giving up their time.
I had a brother that used to sing Danny Boy to the moon when he was full drunk. So that's what I think of when he was singing.
But call me back when summer's in the meadows.
Oh, I would say to everyone, particularly who are thinking of retiring, do not retire. Stay as long as you can. And if you are retiring, get yourself involved in something outside, and people will appreciate it. It doesn't matter what it is. It might be digging the garden, or cleaning the windows, or taking people for a walk, or take someone's dog for a walk. It's rewarding for you, spiritually and mentally.